Hello everybody, how's it going today? Glowplasma 231 here, back in date about Märchen Crown Chapter number 21. This chapter is titled The Witch. And oh my gosh, guys, if any of you have been watching my Märchen Crown videos on this channel for legitimately any length of time, this chapter should not come as a surprise to any of you, because the twist that we learn, I'm not even going to say twist because it's like the most obvious and most predictable thing I probably have ever seen in any anime and manga series ever, and I don't say that lightly. I have seen a lot of really stupid anime and manga twists over the years. I'm not going to say stupid. This isn't a bad twist. It was just one that was very predictable, at least in my personal eyes, and whether or not the rest of you guys who are currently watching this video, my audience, saw it or not, or any just a Märchen Crown audience in general, I'm going to say it now. Oh my gosh, this series actually is a battle royale between all of the prince and princesses pairs, pretty much, right? And we get to explain at the very end of the chapter, but this has just legitimately been something that I've been saying for literal months now. Like, I really think ever since, like, chapter number 14 or 15, or maybe even, like, before then in, like, the 10 or 11 mark. Well, granted, the 10 and 11 mark was more around, like, oh, man, the Ankle Reapers are here. What's going on with Michael and Rapunzel and all of this? I really think it was the bad RPG dialogue video that I created where I was like, hey, this is probably what's happening here, being that we have, like, hey, we have King Ilya and we have Cinderella, and now we also have Rapunzel and Michael, and they're going to have to fight each other, it seems. Like, why are they going to have to do that? And really, that's just what the logical conclusion for me has been for this series for a while, right? But this chapter, really just hopping into it, is more of the same flashback that we started last time all around Cinderella and her general storybook, pretty much. Is like, hey, that's what happened last time, was this really, like, I can't phrase how much of a cool idea for a manga chapter this is, to legitimately phrase the entire chapter around the pages of a storybook and, of course, like, the pages of a manga volume. It was just a really cool way to portray that. Also, really just learning, like, hey, this is how Cinderella's life was. She lived with her new stepmother and of course her two stepsisters, one of them being Lafina, and hey, she has this curse of torment that pretty much the more people love her, the more they try to kill her. And we just ended off with pretty much her mother and her older sister getting burned alive in a cabin, pretty much, and at the same time Lafina was choking out Rapunzel in the moment, and she couldn't necessarily stop herself because she loved Rapunzel too much. And that was one of the really big ideas that we got last chapter, and generally just like hopping into this chapter right here, it's exactly where we start off again, chapter number 21, The Witch. It's with this building burning around Lafina and Bellina. And Bellina's just laying on the ground, and Lafina's over top for just like choking her out here in the moment, right? And Bellina just thinks like, oh, I'm scared. More than all the pain or the sadness or the suffering that I've experienced until now, nothing compares to the terror of burning alive. But that must be why my sister has so kindly chosen to kill me before I can burn to death. Go ahead. I give you permission. As of course, we just see like Bellina's laying on the ground, tears are coming out of her eyes pretty much, right? Like trailing down the side of her face, as Lafina is just holding both of her hands around Bellina's neck, just choking her out pretty much, right? And here the moment Bellina even just goes and says like, oh, thank you, Lafina. And hearing these words like rocks Lafina to her core almost, as all of a sudden like Lafina is like holding her hands around Bellina's neck at one moment, and then the next moment she's just like completely like, ah! Her entire body has just like moved up, and she just like arches her back, has her hands over her ears, and just screams here in the moment, right? And she's like, no, I don't want to kill her. I don't want to hurt Bellina, pretty much, right? But here in the moment, she sort of like has gotten out of the way and like trying to move away from Bellina, like to resist the urge to choke her. But here in the moment, one of the panels from the barn that's being burnt falls on the ground and falls right on to Bellina. And Lafina's like, no, Bellina, and she's like, oh no, help, like, what do I do? Somebody please save Bellina, right? As this fire is just spreading around this entire barn pretty much, right? And inside the barn, Belina is burning alive. Who would have really guessed, right? This video has to be demonetized by YouTube because, like, I'm talking about, like, burning alive, burning buildings, like, choking people out. Like, this is a weird video, man. But this is also a weird series, Märchen Crown is. I love talking about this series, even though if the series is sometimes really bad and then sometimes really good. What can you not love about the stupidness that we get here, right? But either way, inside the building, Belina is burning alive, and she's just thinking like, no, I'm burning. It's so hot. I didn't want to go like this. Help me. Somebody. My father. My mother. Maybe even Prince Ilya. And then she's sort of like sitting here in the fire, the flames consuming around her. Oh, would you look at that? A hand reaches out towards Belina, as all of a sudden, Belina like comes back to conscious, as she's in Prince Ilya's arms, who's come through in the moment and dragged her out of this burning building. And Belina looks up and tears are welling out of her eyes, and she's like, what? Am I dreaming? As Prince Ilya is just standing there holding Belina in his arms, bridal style, like Princess Carrie and all of that various stuff. And he's just like, oh, let us go, Belina. I won't let you. And he looks down into Belina's beautiful face here in the moment. But of course, Belina's beautiful face is tormented by this curse. And as soon as Prince Ilya looks into Belina's eye, it starts to glow, and it starts to emanate this light, as all of a sudden, in his mind, he's just like, oh, I have to throw this girl into the flames, as he just like turns around and starts to look back towards the flames and starts to like outreach his hand to throw Belina in. But no, all of a sudden, Belina screams out like, hey, your highness, as all of a sudden, we see that there's some other parts of the barn falling down, flaming towards both Ilya and Belina. But oh, would you look at that, here in the moment, vines sprout out of Prince Ilya's leg, knocking him out of this trance he has due to the curse of torment. He goes around, swings his leg up, the vines break off into two, and throw these two pieces of rubble all the way towards the edge, not protecting him and Belina here in the moment, right? And all of the vines start to cradle around Ilya's leg once more. And Belina's like, oh, what's going on with your leg? And it pretty much is made very clear here that Ilya, this is the first time that he's experiencing the curse. Like, he really has no idea what's going on here. And he's like, hey, pay it no mind for now. We must run out of this place, right? And he's like, hey, right now, I need you to live. As we now see, like, hey, the main, like, terrible part of this situation has now been taken care of, right? Yes, the barn is building, the barn is burning over to the side, but hey, Lafina is out here safe along with Belina, and Ilya and his horse are here as well, right? Both Belina and Cinderella sob as all of this goes on, and we see that enough time has passed to where the barn has fully burnt down pretty much, right? The raw structure is still there in some sort of way, but to be completely honest with you, it does not look like it's going to be standing for very much longer, right? As we just see in front of Belina and Lafina, there's of course the two bodies of their mother and of course their older sister, right? And Belina just cries going, mother, sister, I'm so sorry. As we just see here in the moment that Ilya's like, hey, I was actually spotted a burning building while I was returning from a long ride, but you two were the last people I expected to find here. And he's like, hey, but all things considered, setting that aside, and he looks down to his leg, of course, where the vines are sprouting out of it. Just what in the world is this? And what was that near irresistible urge that I felt back there, right? Of course, the urge to throw Belina into the fire, right? But as Ilya is thinking all of this, mind you, Ilya is not saying any of this out loud. He is thinking this in his mind. We see a figure walk up towards Ilya and the rest of the group here, right? As this figure is one that we recognize, of course, one that sort of got spoiled in the title of this chapter. It is none other than the mysterious witch. As here in the moment, we just see the witch say, oh, That is her curse. And of course, everybody turns around and be like, who the hell are you, pretty much, right? And Ilya looks down to both Belina and to Lafina like, oh, who is that? Is that an acquaintance of yours? And Lafina's like, no, I've never seen that woman in my life. But of course, Belina has a little bit of a different response, as she looks towards the figure and says, oh, mother? As the witch just says, no, Belina, I am not your mother, but I do know you. I have since you were a little girl. And we just see Ilya going like, oh, tell me, you mentioned a curse. And the witch is like, oh yes, it is a curse of torment that this girl bears. Those who love her, the stronger their love, the stronger their need to hurt her grows. The two of those who just burned to death, they loved her just that deeply. As for those thorns crawling out all over your body, those are proof that you were chosen as this girl's companion. And Ilya just looks up going like, what is this person talking about? Like, what an outlandish tale. And yet, I have no choice yet to believe it. After what's happened to my leg here in the moment, and that terrible urge I felt, as we just see that he's like, but my, how utterly tragic. If all of those who love this girl end up hurting her, then is there any way that we can save her now? And to this, we just see the witch says, oh, yes, there is a way. There are other such pairs as you that exist within this world. Cursed princesses, born into this world to be guided by a great destiny, and the companions at their side who walk the path of kings. You must vanquish all in your path and become the ruler of men. Only then shall be placed upon your head. Yes, the ultimate wedding gift, the the thorny crown. Come on, that's where we end the chapter, and why is it not called the Märchen Crown? Like, we know how this, I'm sorry, like, I am very animated right now, moving all of my arms around. I know there's no video aspect to this series here, but like, really, the Thorny Crown, you had the perfect opportunity for the title drop, the Märchen Crown. Granted, maybe that's what this Battle Royale tournament is called, is the Märchen Crown, for winning the Thorny Crown, but like, what is all of this? You know what I'm saying? I really hope I didn't peek the mic there screaming and all, but this is honestly a really fun chapter of this series. Though it is a chapter I honestly feel would have been a whole lot better coming a bit sooner. Granted, I understand the whole idea of like, yes, Belina is going to be the one to tell Rapunzel and Michael here in the moment, like, hey, to live pretty much happily ever after, like all these fairy tales want you to, what's going to end up happening is you need to win the Thorny Crown, and Michael, you need to put it on top of Rapunzel's head and call it a day, pretty much, right? And though I get the whole idea of like wanting to build up this bigger arc first before Belina sort of like gives in, or Belina, now known as Cinderella, gives in, being like, hey, this is what's happening, you beat Prince Ilya, I no longer have any choice to do this, pretty much, right? And again, maybe at some point, like, Belina will get stronger, Ilya will get back up again, but that's also thinking that this series is going to be surviving that much longer, which, to be fair, if we are getting a big, what really feels like a very big reveal for the series, is one of these ideas to where maybe we actually are going to be continuing on with this series for a little bit longer. Honestly, I could definitely see Asa Asakasa, Ajiakora, and Ajiachika at least getting to like chapter number 50 or so, just to be like, hey, you had enough to have been like a regular full year of publication, maybe like 6 volumes worth of content, or maybe like even 5 to like put this manga around like probably 44 or so chapters in that respect, but either way, I think we are going to be getting more Märchen Crown. At the point of recording this, we are getting a chapter next week on, I think it is the 15th of October of 2025, granted it'd be the 16th in Japan, but yada yada yada, we get it here on a Wednesday here in the Western world pretty much, right? But yeah, this is legitimately just a very interesting chapter. I do just find it so funny. Like, my favorite panel in this chapter is just like Bellina laying on the ground, like, thank you, Lafina. And then Lafina just going like, no, what is this? Like, arching her back with like the hands on the side of her head. It feels like such an escalation, but this is why I read manga, for stupid stuff like this. And I'm just so happy to have it here. And again, like, hey, the witch is moving back into this story as well. It's going to be a little bit of a very weird thing if all of the princesses look completely identical. So it's like, hey, Rapunzel and Cinderella, we know, look exactly the same. Will Little Red Riding Hood look the same as well, pretty much, right? We do get a little bit of a panel on the bottom of what is this? Page 18, I think, is what it is, where we see just like a bunch of these who I presume to be the princes dancing with all of the princesses. And we each see like there's one with black hair, there's one with like more flowing like golden hair, like blonde hair, and like we just see like the different hairstyles a few of these girls have, but like really none of their like face details, which I guess is a little bit of an interesting thing there, which it sounds like there's more story planned out here, and I'll be excited to see that story whenever we get to it, right? But again, I know this is a shorter video on this chapter of Märchen Crown. Again, Märchen Crown chapter number 21, titled The Witch. But legitimately, there's not really too much else I want to say. This is just like one of those things like, hey, I called this twist a very long time ago, and seeing it now, that's pretty neat, right? There is one other thing I want to talk about real quick, and that is the whole idea of Bellina being like, oh, is this actually my original mother? And of course, the way that the witch sort of, we know how she potentially knew Rapunzel, locked her up in a tower to eventually meet the prince and get out there and win this competition, presumably is what the witch was trying to do. But it also seems like she's dabbling with all of these other things as well. And we do see that the witch's hair also looks to be blonde, or sort of like that whitish blonde, like both Bellina, Cinderella, and Rapunzel's is. Is this their actual mother? I do not think so. I think it's probably like just some other woman, but this girl is like pulling the strings on everything. But if I had to guess, this is the previous winner of the Märchen Crown, or I'm sorry, the Thorny Crown. Or this is one of the losers of, she's been involved with the Märchen Crown or the Thorny Crown at some point. And that is my prediction for this chapter going forward. The witch, we know she's important. She did something in the past with this competition, this battle royale, and the Thorny Crown, pretty much, right? There we go. Glowplasma stamped it, put it on the books, written it down with that pin that's like flaming as I'm writing it down, because I know I've got some heat going on here with my predictions. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Märchen Crown at chapter number 21. If you did enjoy it, I've covered this series since legitimately the very first chapter. So if you want to hear my thoughts on literally any chapter of Märchen Crown, go check out my YouTube channel at Glowplasma and check out the playlist there. The playlist will also be in the description box of this video, along with the end card of the video as well. And yeah, with all of that out of the way, I will catch you guys next week for more Märchen Crown. I would say greatness. We're going to say just some more Märchen Crown because, yeah, that's the series. And with all of that, I'll catch you guys next week. This will be Glowplasma signing out.